Hey, welcome back, Mossy Oak Moments Live. I don't care what you're chasing, whitetail deer, ducks, geese, whatever it is. Everybody looks at me and they go, man, that guy, he don't care nothing about ducks. It ain't that I don't care anything about ducks, it's just, that ain't my thing. The conditions are bad. Hey, back in the day, the only two cameras we ever earned that were really expensive were on the same day on a duck hunt. A dog knocked one off in the water and a strap broke. Those were high dollar cameras. Me and duck hunting, but I can tell you this, the people that throw in our content, they're really good at it. We're gonna have a big mix this week. Coming up on Straight Hunting, we're going to Ohio, where the duck hunting is really, really cold up there. Beautiful stuff. Somebody that really knows about ducks. Fred Zink, that name's got to come to your mind. Let's go check them out and see what's flying in Ohio.
We got a great duck hunting day, finally. Been a struggle this year in Ohio, like a lot of places. Unseasonably warm, but no pressure up in Canada. There's a lot of ducks still north of us.
Finally got some good weather upon us. Maybe a little more than we hoped for, but Freddie and I like it. We're Ohio boys, and when the snow blows like this, usually means a lot of good things. So
we got a bunch of them coming. We got the right weather. Got my good buddy Chris Paradise from Mossy Oak. We've been friends for 25 years. We love to get together, especially this time of year. Trust me, I've been sitting here all day waiting for this. They've been coming since first light, hundreds of them.
Pintail, Drake Pintail.
We gotta make a quick change real quick. Okay. I'll move the boat, Dice.
Yeah.
You just move the decoys.
Where do you want them?
The first evening hunting with Chris, I made a little mistake at the beginning of the hunt. I tried to get to some place that I knew was going to be good hunting, but the camera was a little close. And that's the thing about hunting versus filming the birds, is you got to kind of think of everything. How to hide, are the ducks going to see the camera? Because worst thing you can do duck hunting is move, but when you're filming, you have to move. So we started off a little bit wrong, made a quick adjustment, and then the duck started landing right in the hole, and we had a good time. Give him dice, give him dice.
Nice shot. That wind took it. Whew. Good shot.
I come up, had a hood between me and the gun.
I was gonna say.
I was looking around things. I was like, I pulled up, like, oh, this ain't gonna be good. Things are working now, Dice.
Oh yeah. There we go. That'll work.
Our first setup we made, we were trying to actually hunt a little bit closer to the dike to make it easier to film, and it didn't work out so good. We moved out to where we need to be right now. We've been here about, what, 3 minutes? Got 3 ducks.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Tell you what, if you're a duck hunter and you don't like shooting them, They eat, they decoy. I cranked the triple.
I'm like, oh, I look back, well, there goes that one. There goes the third.
I'm officially done on mallards.
Yeah.
And black duck. Come on, Max.
Where'd you go, Max?
Yep. Oh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Big heavy boy.
Yep. Nice one. All right, Paradise. Back, back.
That'll work.
Back. There you go, Paradise. Woo. Pretty, pretty, pretty.
Oh, yeah.
By the time we get out of here, what we want to do is go ahead and get out. We got, Chris and I killed our 8 mallards, and I killed a black duck as well. But it's going to snow 5 to 8 inches. These ducks are coming in here, they need a feed, and we need them to get in here pretty thick, undisturbed, so they can keep this hole open so we can hunt the next couple days. So this time of year, hunting's awesome, but you also got to manage it really well. We got about 6 inches of snow last night. Snowed a lot of the water shut. This here blind was almost solid white, stuck out. So we're just going down here. We're going to take all the snow off, but we're just knocking a little bit of it off, make it look natural like the rest of the corn and the grass around here. Plus, you don't want that going down your jacket when you stand up to shoot, do you, Dice?
Nope.
You're up, Dice. Why not?
Had to.
Yep.
Had to.
He's crashing. He's going woozy, woozy.
Good boy.
Get him, Dice. Get him, Dice. Well, we're picking them away at him.
Yeah.
Could be a banded duck. You never know. It could be the one, Dice.
Could be. Well, A little longer retrieve than expected. But even in temperatures and conditions like this, when you shoot a duck, you got to make the attempt to find it. And after a long walk, we found them hiding in a hedgerow here, so definitely worth the trip.
Get the old double tap. Boom, boom.
He was hit on the first, but he just didn't. He was hit on the first, he just didn't want to put it.
Oh, that was a little better.
Oh, yeah.
That's still 30-yard shot.
I know. That's 6.
I'm getting old and lazy. I'm used to shooting pretty close.
And you know what? Did you see when he went by right here?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he must really want to be tight. I almost pulled up.
Boom.
All right.
Kapow.
One more.
Oh, you started punch him, Dicey. Oh.
Yeah, he's...
Well, that wraps up for mallards.
Yep.
And we ended up with a limit of greenheads. It was a pretty special day with, you know, somebody that I love to share the duck blind with.
With my eyes to the sky,
How you do it? Rob said we're gonna name this one Homecoming. 4 years ago,
Has it been that long?
This is where we started it out 4 years ago. Just, you know, right there on the side of that S-curve. 2 years ago when he had corn in that rotation, we just didn't, he shelled it real late and we just didn't get in it. There's a bunch of them in here. That's how you know you've been doing it too long. Your body just wakes up at 2. It's like, okay, time to go.
Occasionally, I just like to go to some restaurant by myself and do what I want.
We're done. Everybody can get in the truck and take a nap now. That's definitely true. I mean, this ought to be fun this morning. My dad found these. Oh gosh, this ought to be pretty fun this morning. My dad found these geese day before yesterday, and 4 years ago this week we made our first film, and the one we called home, and we were literally just on the other side of that great big oak tree, and we shot 12 or 13 limits, I can't remember, in 30 minutes. It was just absolutely ignorant. Well, it's the same group of geese, and there's just as many here as there were, maybe more than there were 4 years ago. So a few things have changed. Keith's boys looks like a grown man. He doesn't look like a little kid anymore. He killed a band on that hunt, and so it'll all be fun. I think we've got 14 or 15 guns this morning, so we'll see. If there's a pond behind this house, and there's definitely some on it. This is the feeling that drives me nuts. This is the 10 minutes that drives me nuts. I hear them behind us. And to our right, there they are. Coming from the right.
You got a visual.
See them? Here they come.
Oh, there they are. Oh gosh.
Kill them right there. Okay. Watch this group coming from the left. Get ready, get ready. Get on. I just tripled. Watch it, watch it. One flying up the end of the right. Watch it, watch it. One flying up the end of the right. Okay. Shoot on right there. Good shot. Woo! Dadgummit, they're gonna all come on. Let them land, let them land. Golly, here comes more geese. Okay. Whoa! Watch in front, watch in front.
That was
Goodness gracious. The carnage. Yeah. Get them. Let's get these. Look at that one. Look at that one. Oh, he just back. Watch that one's flying off. Flying off. Oh, right here. Watch that running right there. There's one standing up right there. It's going to kind of fly. Come on. Front left, front left, front left.
all right. Let's kill those. Triples everywhere.
Okay.
Holy cow, watch that one out front. He's hurt, coming back. Good, nice, great. I'm getting too old and fat for this, but this show is fun. Goodness. How about that, boss, for a homecoming? Ooh. How about that? Your guy that was ripping this field, he said he'd take all these geese.
We're back out scouting this morning. Had to sit all day with the ducks not flying yesterday morning. So we're out here scouting, trying to find something for tonight and tomorrow morning. So we're kind of scrambling. We want to make sure we find 2 good feeds. Holy cow, there's a bunch of snows right there. Out trying to find some birds. It's supposed to start warming up. The last 2 days have been the coldest day of the year. And now it's about to be 60 degrees in the afternoon. So who knows what it's going to do to these ducks. Hopefully they start flying again in the morning, and hopefully it doesn't screw our afternoon hunt up. So I'm gonna pound some gravel and get after it and see what we can find.
All right, we're getting ready to pull into our next location. We're moving camps from where we were the last few days. We're getting into an area where we know that there are a lot of ducks. There's a lot of snow geese in the area, but the reports have been really good from this area. We've had a buddy up here, our buddy Joe's been up here. So we're excited to get loaded up. We got a spot picked out for this afternoon, and it should be a good next couple days to close out this trip.
Just got moved up here about an hour and a half north of where we'd been staying. Joe had found some ducks up here this morning moving around, and We found some a little bit further south than this, not very much, but enough to move camps, and we're finally getting back out here and getting set up on these decks for the evening time. I think we got something for the morning, so we don't have to worry about scouting. So we're set up here for a little bit, and hopefully we get on some more of these birds here tomorrow that are around up in the area.
Well,
not a bad day, not a bad afternoon, not a bad way to spend an afternoon. Beautiful night on the prairie, saw tons of birds, had, I don't know, 4 or 5 groups of mallards come out, picked a couple drakes out. It got tough though. We were competing with a bunch of snow geese right to our west, and when the ducks really started coming out off the water, they just started dumping in with them snows, and when that happens, I mean, we knew we were pretty much done. So we're gonna wrap up today. Well, like I said, can't beat it. Beautiful day, good shooting, good fun. Do it.
So this whole trip to Kansas was Eddie. He lined this thing up, and to be honest with you, I didn't really know nothing about it. I didn't ask no questions because it didn't matter to me, you know. One of them called and said, "I got a spot open in the truck. We're going to Kansas. You want to ride?"
Okay. What do you think the chances are Murray finds this place?
I didn't know where we was going. I just knew we was going kind of up and over. West. That's all I needed to know.
Fuel this wagon up.
Kennel. Making this rate. Don't you get a personal pan pizza?
Well, I don't know if Brooks will ever let me stop again. You know, I gotta utilize my stops.
Never know. Let's ride.
We got to Waterville and we met Landon and Wesley there. This old boy got out with these sweatpants on and these ostrich quill boots, and I knew he was going to be some of my people. We get back to camp, and dang, Wesley Walker breaks out this 6-string and starts singing, and I didn't care if we shot a duck at all after that.
High black water, the devil's daughter. She's hard, she's cold and she's mean. Nobody taught her. It takes a lot of water to wash her way to New Orleans.
He's a good dude, a good duck hunter, but when it comes to making music, that dude is talented.
So Landon and Wesley with Little Blue Outfitters, they had been watching several areas. The night we got there, the temp dropped pretty substantially. We were a little worried that the pond might freeze up, so we made sure to get out there probably an hour and a half early to bust ice, set up ice eaters, and make sure we had a good open hole for these ducks to come in. And let me tell you, as soon as that sun came up and you could see silhouettes, we had hundreds of mallards trying to get in there. It was really a sight to see. Yep. 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 Not today! Not today! Coming in tight. Yep.
We're rocking little beaches.
The band is under dispute. We're gonna maybe replay the video footage, but I still don't think that's gonna confirm.
So after we finished that hunt up there, went back to the camp. Mr. Stephen cooked us up a nice lunch, and then after that we went riding around, done a little scouting, and we'd see a couple ponds that had one or two on there, but nothing just, you know, confident numbers. This one pond that's been holding a pretty good amount of geese, so we just made the decision that for that third morning to try to shoot those geese.
Got to bust some geese. So Murray, I've graded all the blinds that we've done so far, and right now you're at a C-, barely passing.
C's get degrees, baby.
That's right. Just call me Night Quill, because I'm a cold killer.
So Landon and Wesley with Little Blue Outfitters, they really showed us a heck of a time. Both their dads came up and helped cook and helped do stuff, and they had a great place to stay. They're in a really good area, and they were just excellent hosts, and just couldn't thank them enough for the hospitality they showed us while we were up there.
So we get back to the camp there, and they had a big breakfast ready for us. I think it was pancakes that particular morning. And everybody's talking about we need to run to town and get some stuff and pick up this and that. And I'm kind of like, you know, let's get this camera out and let's hash this thing out.
So after viewing the footage, this old band here is coming back to Webster County. Let me go find my net and my lanyard.
All right, coming up on Mossy Oak Classics, duck hunting with two guys that were something else. Bo Prestige over at Wildlife Inc. in the Delta. We went with him so much for a bunch of reasons. Number one, he always had ducks. And number two, he was so much fun. And he's being joined by Will the Thrill Clark. I know if you ever watch baseball, you know who Will the Thrill is. You know he was such a good hitter because of his vision. It was something ungodly, like 2015 or something like that. That's pretty handy spotting them ducks too. Y'all check this out.
Mississippi was my family owned this farm down here. And when I was 20, it takes you till you're about 26 years old before you realize how smart your daddy and mama are.
Yeah.
You know, well, all my brothers and sisters went to college and they did real good. And me, I was old country farm boy. Rabbit hunted every day, had a pack of beagles, duck hunted every day. We didn't have any deer. That was our main hunting, was duck hunting. And that's all I did till I moved to Mississippi, where there was a lot of deer at. And I just duck hunted, duck hunted, duck hunted.
Look, Will, right over the sunset, you can see them. They're still pouring in.
Pretty good group of birds.
It is, yeah. And you know, we've seen enough already to know that it's going to be a good hunting mark. Well, I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm looking forward to it too. Hopefully them ducks keep that water unfroze tonight, and we'll be able to get some open water shots.
Well, we got a little wind tonight too, and that'll help. That'll help, you know, keep some movement on the water and keep it from freezing. So, you know, we're gonna have some ice to break, but we're gonna have some open water in there too.
This is one of the more interesting boat rides I ever had.
Good gracious alive. Look in the sky. I know. All to the right. Look at that. God. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's really cool. Oh my God. They're coming around. Talk to him, Billy. Talk to him, Billy. Call him, Billy. Here comes one, here comes one. Take it, take it, take it. Good shot, good shot.
Thank you both.
Thank you both. Did you shoot? There you guys go again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I figured I'd let y'all in on some shooting.
Let me put that one shell in the gun.
Yeah. Let me put that one shot in there. That was a nice shot, that was a nice shot. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. In front. What about it, Billy?
One more thing.
Let them keep going. Let them keep going.
So many of y'all gonna let go by.
This is unreal. You gotta keep watching. Just let them keep going. Let them go again. Let them go again. They're gonna come back. All right, Billy, you're gonna have to call it now.
That's a big bunch right there.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. There's a bunch more right behind them. Hold on. You ready?
Hey.
There's 3 for
Good shot. 3 strikes. You're out.
You're out. There's 2 right here. You take some in, Billy. Oh, Billy. Call it, Billy. You call it. You call it, Billy. Get ready. Get ready. Yeah, man. Look at yonder. Good shot, Will. Thank you. Same to you. Good shot. Billy, did you shoot? No. Nope. I just rest my case. Good shot. 2 shots, 2 birds. See what happens when you keep that gun put up, Billy? How about trying to tell you? I didn't shoot. Did not shoot, Will. Watch me load this. Will, you watch it. Watch it. You just gonna take a shell. You watch it. Ready. Still coming in behind us. Hold on. There's a single right here pitching. Good shot. Had to let him get by that tree right there. Hey, I got to do 1 or 2 things, Billy. I done figured it out. I either got to shoot or tell him how to shoot. Ready. Come on in here, buddy boy. You're gonna have to call it. Let's go. Take him. I'll be darned if you didn't get 2 at 1 shot.
I can't believe that.
I said, okay, this is gonna be perfect. This is gonna be a 1, 2, 3. I had that first bird, and all of a sudden the first 2 birds disappeared. You got 2 at 1 shot. They lined up pretty good.
Billy, you have hunted with me long enough that you've actually become a good shot. I have. Will. That's a good shot, Billy. That's a good shot. Talk to him, Billy. Talk to him, Billy. When you face a mallard, oh, you can't shoot him when you can.
Oh, you rat.
Look. No
you
gun.
rat.
Look. No gun. Gun on shoulder. Go get him, Will.
Oh, I can go.
The truth always comes out. Now we know. Now, see? Can we come back? Can we go back to shooting now? Oh, Lord, that was something.
I know one thing.
Yeah.
We can go over here and pick one up.
Yeah. We can go back to shooting now.
That might not be that one.
Oh, you did good, Will. You did that all by yourself. I watched it.
Thank you. There's two on this side.
Here they come. They're going to come behind you, Will. They're going to circle around. Get ready. Y'all get ready. Here they come.
I'm right to the left.
Coming to your left.
Around the side. Got it.
Here they come.
Ready?
Take them. Oh, good shot.
Hey.
Good shot.
What on? Thank you,
Good
sir.
shot. Oh, I'm gonna fall.
I tell you what, that puts a capper on a gorgeous morning, don't it?
That's a limit. What a hunt. Awesome.
I tell you what, them birds worked this hole so nice all morning long.
Oh, it doesn't get any better, does it, Billy?
Oh, both, Billy, I had a ball. Thank you a lot.
Hey, we appreciate it, Will. We enjoy you being here with us.
That was a great morning. It's a
pleasure to hunt.
Tell you what,
Billy, Will.
This is a lot different than what I'm used to down in marshes, Louisiana. But
what do you think about this Wildlife Inc?
I tell you what, this is where they at.
This is where they at.
This is where they at.
Heartland bow hunter. You know, it's getting kind of late in the season, and that kind of separates the, man, I love bow hunting. I kind of love bow hunting. When you're doing it late and you're doing it hardcore and that's all you do, man, that says a lot. I cannot wait to see where they're at.
Hey, looky there. There's a buckadoo at the creek. A nice young 2-year-old 8-pointer. Gosh, they sneak in on us on that creek because you can't really see down there very good. There's a deer right here. Coming from north. It's a doe. Perfect. Working right towards us. First deer of the Missouri season for me. We've been wanting to shoot a doe. We've been hunting in the mornings and just haven't had any great opportunities. I wasn't gonna pass that one up. It's been a good morning. Seen a lot of deer.
Every year, depending on the property, we try to make a pretty conscious effort to harvest does, whether that be early season or late season. It always kind of depends based on what bucks we're targeting and what other hunting is going on. So this particular year we got kind of a late start, but we had a job to get done.
A little bit of herd management, put some meat in the freezer.
Alright, we just got dropped off. My dad's heading out. There's actually 4 does out here feeding already, like 2.5 hours before the dark, so hopefully they'll come back out and feed. We're gonna hop up in the stand and get it done. The same 4 does that were in the field just came back out, and we're not even ready yet. I'm literally getting my bow ready. Artery. She's gone. She's done. And that's all she wrote. Should I call Dad, tell him to come get us? And that was gonna be good tender eating victuals too. I was like, I'll shoot that first big one, and I'm like, I kind of would rather have one that's a little more tender. That blood was pumping. Nice little doe. Boy, she's gonna eat good. Real good. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Lord, for an amazing hunt and a great way to end off my year.
there she lays. Came all the way down to the pond. Both of us actually have COVID, so we're hunting together because we can't do anything else. But we thought we lost her up there a little bit, and she had apparently backtracked a little bit and came right down this hill. So I'm gonna get her out of here now.
Try to get Thomas first deer, and then I'm playing back up and get a shot at another doe, and hopefully put a couple down. We just got fresh snow today, perfect conditions, north wind.
I didn't see her. Thank you. Thanks for that noise. That really helped.
Doe management, while necessary on a lot of our properties, is also a great way to get new hunters involved and also spend time with some of the guys that we haven't got to hunt with throughout the fall while we've all been traveling and hunting. So it's a great way to achieve some management goals, but also wrap up our season at home.
At the core of all of us, there is a code, a roadmap that determines who we are. Our code is written in early morning sunrises and the anticipation of opening day. Our code is written by the moments that we experience with those we love the most. It's written by the feeling of our dirt in our hands. At Mossy Oak, our code is burned into every cell of our body. It's in our DNA.
I'm 15 feet up off the ground. I got my bow in my hand. I'm not making a sound. I'm just waiting patiently.
There he is. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I want to go grab him so bad.
Genesis 27:3. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. This was Isaac talking to his son Esau. Before Isaac was about to pass, he wanted to share his blessing with Esau over a meal of venison. Even as far back as the times of the Bible, venison has been important to the human race. So now, join me and my blue-collar team as we chase giant whitetails across the Midwest. Our goal is to make you a better hunter. I'm Ben Rising, and this is Whitetail Edge.
Thank you, God, Jesus Christ, for this amazing dream.
Yeah, baby.
I'm about to go lay my hands on probably the biggest buck I've ever shot.
I just smoked the sheriff.
Yep, he's going down, sis.
Beautiful buck. I couldn't be more happy to take him back home to Indiana.
There he is. Oh my gosh.
I just smoked a giant on a Black Widow mock scrape, baby. Yes, yes.
Hi, and welcome to Whitetail Edge. This is episode 8 of season 6. On this hunt, we're going to be following along with Dwayne Jones as he's after a big Ohio buck that he calls Snoop Dogg. So as a lot of you know that follow Whitetail Edge, Dwayne was new to our team last year. Dwayne is just a really breath of fresh air. He's a driven guy. He's always thinking about deer, wanting to do the best he can. Sometimes he gets a little down in the dumps when things aren't going his way, so we just tell him to quit being so negative. and then he smiles and he picks himself back up. And the reason I know that, I got to spend a little time in Kansas this year with Dwayne as he was out there. So you got to grind when you're out there. And, you know, I think he's a young hunter. He's learning, and as you'll see, he starts putting things that he learns to use. Dwayne is really big on food plots and trying to do whatever the best he can on his small parcel of land that he owns in Ohio. And he wants to draw the deer there. He understands he's only got, I think it's 30-some acres to hunt on, and he's got to do whatever he can to hold deer on his 30 acres or bring them to the 30 acres. So, you know, Dwayne is putting the time in. He's enlisting help to get his cornfield planted, networking with guys on the team, you know, to do that. He's getting seed from Big Time. You know, Joe Humphreys, our good buddy, is sending us seed. He's putting in clover plots. He's got his redneck blinds in place, scrape trees for the Black Widow branch butter and the scrapes, using the Spartan cameras. Again, you'll see in all these hunts, everything comes together. Everything that we use, it's not like we're just like pimping these products because they're our sponsors. We truly use this stuff, and these are tools that we feel like if you have a little bit of money here and there and you want to buy something to put into your arsenal, that it can help you.
Just purchased this farm this summer with the spring, and gonna put this out. Gonna do a section of this clover chicory mix, put my redneck blind up, and then corn all the way around. Chad's just now finishing up on the corn, so we're excited to see. We're excited to see what this clover does. Big Time's a great product, and see how this plot turns out, and hopefully we kill a good deer off of it. Stay tuned. What is the date? September 12th, and got my Black Widow branch butter and young buck. So I'm gonna start this scrape. I got my redneck ghillie blind right over here. It's about 30 yards, so I want to try to get a shooter coming through the clover and hit this scrape. Take a little bit of the branch butter, put on this limb. Getting real crazy right now with this, but the young buck works good, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get a shooter on this scrape tree. And it's so simple because you just take your foot and, you know, stick it down in the ground, get it good and tight. Click that baby up on. I'm going to angle it up this hill a little bit because of my scrape tree, and it's on a slope. That makes that simple easy. Makes it real easy. So we got the Black Widow on the scrape tree, the branch butter and the young buck. I got my Spartan and my stick and pick right here, and my Big Time clover plot, my redneck blind. Me and Jess are headed back for the first ever set on our property, and we're pumped. It's the first time that we've ever actually owned a piece of land, and now we've hunted this property, but it's our first time ever owning it. So we got a nice path headed into redneck ghillie blind here in standing corn. Jess is going for her first ever buck with a bow. Show me your bow. So we'll see what happens. We're excited. It's October 2nd. Cold front came through. Should be good. What's up, guys? Hey, things are starting to heat up. We had a shooter show up, deer that I let go last year. He's hitting a few scrapes through here. Got my redneck ghillie blind back here. You can tell this scrape is getting annihilated here on my scrape tree. So, got some black widow deer lures. Spray in there. And then I put some, I got some branch butter. Some branch butter, man. Put it up there. So, black widow, young buck, and the branch butter. Perfect combination. Things are heating up on the Jones farm.
So as we're moving along in the season, you know, Dwayne's getting pictures of some good deer. He's had Snoop Dogg on this farm in the past, and the year before, and he was a young deer. And Snoop Dogg is not exactly an old deer, but this is the biggest deer that Dwayne has ever had an opportunity to chase, pretty much. So, and it's the biggest deer he's got on his farm. So, you know, it's definitely a target buck for him. The deer's moving a lot at dark still. He's just not ready. So since Snoop Dogg is not ready to be hunted right now, Dwayne's going to go to Kansas, and we're going to follow along with him a little bit as he's out in Kansas. And you're probably going to see me in this hunt a little bit too as we're out here in Kansas together. As you can see, the hunting in Kansas is kind of tough. It's kind of hot weather, it's warm, unseasonably warm, truthfully, for November. And it's a grind. It's hard to stay after it. The deer are moving slow, you know, seeing some deer, but it's just not like on fire by any means. So now that we're done in Kansas, you know, Dwayne struck out. I was fortunate enough to shoot a decent deer. Where he's headed back to Ohio, and he's got one thing on his mind, and that's Snoop Dogg on his property.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's November 11th, and got the cold front of November. I think every deer hunter in the Midwest has been waiting on this cold front. It's been so hot, and I was in Kansas last week. Hunted for about 8-9 days. It was so hot, and I came home, worked for a couple days, and now this front's coming, so I ran back out to my property. I had 2 really good deer show up on my Spartan, crossing this ditch crossing down here below me. I don't have any history with these deer. I don't have any names for them. They just appeared, you know, so they're really a blessing. And hopefully I can get one of them on the ground. They should be moving, so I'm on my property here for a couple days and head to Kentucky. Got them at least down there for rifle season. So hopefully I get one of these nice deer killed here before Saturday. So we'll see what happens. Found this real good ditch crossing. And brought an Evix tree stand in here, hung it in this cedar tree. So hopefully it all pays off and we get the biggest deer of my life on the ground. So. Once Dwayne's back in Ohio, it's time to get in the blind. Snoop Dogg's making some moves on his food plots, coming to the cornfield, and he's ready to try to get in there, slip into the redneck blind as quietly as he can, and try to get a shot at Snoop Dogg. So here it is. Moon Guide is saying it's a red moon. You know, Dwayne wants to get in that blind. He's getting pictures of Snoop Dogg. He knows that his best chances of maybe encountering this deer in the daylight are on this red moon phase here in November. Hey, what's up, guys? It's November 18th, second day of the red moon on the Moon Guide. It's about 12 o'clock, and I jumped in my redneck ghillie blind. I can't hunt this farm in the mornings because I do like a, deer drive coming in. Because the deer obviously feeding in my corn all night. So I waited, took a phase shower. I got some black-wooded deer lures that I'm going to spray around here. Wind is coming out of the west-southwest, but it's just swirly. It's not like a really solid, consistent wind. I had a real good deer show up on my Spartan. I had pictures of him in September, and
what a heartbreaker for Dwayne. And I got to tell you, we've all missed deer. I was really proud of Dwayne watching this footage because a lot of guys would just freak out, get mad, their hunt's over, and just, you know, curse and just be done with it. And I know I'd have been a little upset, but, you know, Dwayne took this on the chin like a champ, and he just wanted to learn from the experience, you know, get better from it. And it wasn't anything that the equipment failed or anything. It just, this deer, you can see it. I mean, this deer jumps pretty bad. Dwayne's hard after it. He knows this deer's here. The deer didn't seem that spooked. So you're just going to keep grinding, following the Spartan cameras, watching the scrapes, using the Black Widow, Big Tine to see what happens. So we finally got some cold weather here in Ohio. The snow is on the ground. The moon guide says the red moon is going to approach tomorrow, and we've got the weather we need. So Dwayne's getting pictures of Snoop Dogg. It's time to get after him, get in the redneck blind, and see what he can make happen.
What's up, everybody? It's second day of Ohio's gun season, and it's about 1 o'clock, and I'm sneaking in here in my redneck blind. I saw a few does last evening. I really thought I'd see a shooter, but I didn't. So I'm sneaking back in here. Access is very important, and I'm gonna sneak up through this ditch, get to the other side, and hit my corn, and walk about 30 yards through my corn. Hopefully there's no deer in there. I haven't had any Spartan pictures of anything since right at daylight this morning. I got about 3 or 4 inches of fresh snow, and I'm really excited. Accessing your stand, you always want to try to access it where no deer are going to cross your track. So hopefully it all works out. The deer I missed, he's still here, and I got another good 12. So we'll see. I'm gonna cut right through there to the back of my ghillie blind. So wish me luck. I'll see you in the blind. December 1st, second day of gun season here in Ohio. I said last evening saw a few does. You know, the storm was coming in. But they moved fairly well last night. But we got about 3-4 inches of fresh snow. Everything seems to be lining up to kill a big deer. Deer cast says great. We're coming into the red moon, I think. Wednesday, tomorrow starts the first day of the red moon, so I'm excited about that. Got a couple really good deer in here. I missed one of them the week before Thanksgiving, and I let another really big deer get by me the week before that. Just couldn't get the camera and the bow to work at the same time. Didn't come together for me, so I'm gonna keep going and keep grinding it out, try to get it done. But everything's lining up. I'm just blessed to be here. I'm off work and there's snow on the ground in Ohio, so hopefully I get it done. Oh my God, there he is. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jesus. Oh Lord, thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's that buck that I missed a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, thank you, Lord. I knew with this snowstorm coming in that we had an awesome shot of seeing him. And I just can't believe it. And yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Man, all my hard work paid off this summer. I put this big time clover plot planting my corn. Cody come over and Chad, and we worked on my field, my wife, and just so many trips to this place. And yes, thank you, Lord. All right, I was getting all my stuff out, and I hadn't seen much all evening, and I turned my mic off, and I think I just shot Snoop Dogg. I'm so pumped. I'm gonna go back and look at the footage and see what happened, but it happened so fast. I thought it was over, and gosh, I can't tell you this. I don't know what happened. I want to review the footage and see, but we'll see what happened. I got some deer right out here watching me, so. So I'm gonna look and see, and hopefully I got him. Oh man, guys, I had to wait on my brother. I just, I shot my target deer that I'd missed a couple weeks ago, and my brother and his buddy Austin came over to help me film the recovery, and I'm so excited. I haven't went and looked for this deer, and we're gonna get down here and get on the blood trail and see what we got. So, but I've seen he made it to the end of the field, and then I'm not sure. He ran right. Okay. Yeah, he ran right through this corner right here. There he is. Oh my gosh. I don't know, I want to go grab him so bad. Look at that thing.
Wow. He's giant.
I missed this deer a couple weeks ago, and I thought the chase was over with him. I really did. I just don't know what to say, because I put so much time and effort into chasing these deer and running all over the country with my wife, and look at that thing. I just didn't know if I was going to get a deer or not. I didn't know if, with what I was going through, and went to Kansas, I went to Kentucky, and I didn't have very good luck there, and then I came back to Ohio and missed this deer, and I didn't know. I was kind of questioning the Lord of what he was doing, but he knows, and his timing's perfect, and my brother's here to film me, and I just got so many people to thank. My wife, my boys, my family, Ben for giving me the chance to be on the team, Cody, Chad, Chris. I mean, he's just beautiful, man.
Well, here you have it. The persistence pays off. Dwayne kills the biggest deer of his life. I'm so happy for him. He just stuck with it. He just kept doing his homework. He didn't pressure the deer too much. He'd hunted a little bit in the rut in this farm. He'd seen some deer working down the hills. And he kind of just knew. He was even talking to me some on the phone, like, I think he knew all along eventually where he was going to shoot this deer. You know, and some of the factors that really play into play here is, you know, setting up the scrape tree on his clover plot, knowing those deer are around. He was using the big time minerals and the, you know, the feed to kind of monitor the situation, attract these deer to his farm. They'd switch over to the plots and just kind of hang out. It was able to keep these deer to survive. He had standing corn, you know, he busted his butt all year, just doing everything he could to make his little farm a honey hole for a good deer to stay there, to want to be there as a destination spot. And that's what you got to do. Sometimes you have to think about what you can do to your spot to make it better. This 30 acres isn't big, so I mean, think about it. He just killed, you know, a really great buck on 30-acre piece of ground. There's not much else I can say. Just really excited for him. As you can tell, he's really emotional, but who isn't when they kill the biggest deer of their life? So I expect big things to come from Dwayne Jones in the future, and I think the deer are just going to get bigger. Well, hey, thanks for following along with Whitetail Edge on this episode with Dwayne. Catch us right here next week, another episode of Whitetail Edge.
If you guys missed last week's show, I introduced you to a buck named Fair Game. I've been after him now for 2 years, picked up a new farm, and we had several encounters with him and missed opportunities. So now I'm all in after this specific deer.
Should be good. The goal of this farm is I've been trying to get pictures of a buck called Fair Game, or the Big 10 is his name. Was after him last year, but we had one good encounter with him where Jake actually missed him. I seen him in my headlights in my truck and had a couple encounters outside of hunting. I've seen him, but I've never gotten pictures of him in velvet. Don't know where he's at, but I have a good idea. It's either on this farm, which I got permission on during deer season last fall. He could be here. We had an encounter right here with him, so we'll see if we get pictures of him here. I don't know. It says full battery somehow. I got a whole bunch of pictures on it. Let's go. Okay, we'll bring him in. It's been a really successful night scout so far. There's 5 or 6 mature deer out here right now. Crazy. None of them are absolute giants, but they're definitely good deer. Most people would be very happy with any of these deer. But, you know, like I'm only one this season. During the summer, as I was running cameras, my worst fear happened. EHD hit. We lost a lot of deer in the area, and I was definitely concerned if Fair Game was going to make it or not, because, as I said, I've never seen him in velvet. So, for all I know, I'm just praying that he fights and makes it through it and shows up on camera. As September came around, deer started to lose their velvet, and still no sign of Fair Game. October came, still no sign of Fair Game. That was until October 5th. At about 11 o'clock at night, I get one photo of him at this fence crossing, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Fair game had lived and made it through EHD. Knowing he's still alive, I was just a frantic mess. I started throwing cameras up everywhere, and then the 12th and the 13th, I got photos of him on one of the other farms I got permission on. One of them was in the morning going to bed, in the evening going back to feed. So immediately I went and hung a stand.
All right, well, Reed just got here too. We just finished up the set. There he is, but this spot's sick. We think it got where Fair Game is coming from. So we did minimal trimming, but it's a smaller diameter tree. But the thing is, I think it's just what we had to do. It's the only option we had here for us to be able to hunt this on this wind, on the west wind. So if he comes through here Thursday, he's in big trouble. Here we go. Time to put the lifeline up here.
All right, we're out here putting hay bale blind out. We just baled this field, so I'm getting it out now. It is late October 22nd, so Red will be kicking off any time and getting this blind put in position. Got my go cam back here in the corner. That's where Jake missed the big deer last year. Fair game. So we're getting set up. Jim's helping me, and the bale blinds are not a one-man task, that's for sure. Good to go.
I think this is going to be a successful.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
We sat and hunted, and still no sign of fair game. However, I kind of let off the gas a little bit because of work with real estate. I knew I just had to keep focusing on it, trying to build my client base, and that just led me to not hunt that much. That was until later November, I managed to get out. As November was starting to wind down, it was the 20th, and a buddy of mine reached out to me asking if I wanted to go hunting with him the next morning. Well, I just decided, hey, it's a morning hunt. It's not going to sacrifice too much of my day from work, so why not give it a shot? As luck would have it, I go out with my buddy, and sure enough, I had a great shot at a really nice 11-pointer and made the best of it, and that would wrap up my bow season. No luck with fair game, but I had a tag filled, which was great, but man, if this deer couldn't get under my skin enough, he was going to live to see another day again. As it approached late season, I was kind of excited a little bit because based on 2018, fair game started to show up more and more regular in December and January. So I was kind of hoping if I put my time in, maybe I'd get a crack at him. However, that wasn't the case again. He did show up. I mean, he did show up regularly. I was getting good pictures of him. But I'd put my time in, I'd be sitting hunting, and I'd see hardly any deer, to be honest with you, and just never even had an encounter, but he'd still show up in the middle of the night.
This is the farm. I'm still hunting a Big Ten. I call fair game. There's some other big ones in here, so from what I'm learning over the last 2 years of hunting this deer, I'm thinking he favors this side of the farm more than the other farm, because, I mean, late season, he's here daylight a lot. November, we've had a couple encounters with him here daylight too. Well, I had one encounter in December on another farm, so.
Like every year, I love shed hunting as much as the next guy. And I got out, put on some miles again, picked up a few sheds, but the one I wanted was fair game, and never found him. However, another guy that hunted the property that I did find him. So he found one, he found the right side, and it was really cool knowing he found it, but I'll tell you what, I was a little nervous at first knowing he knew of him, and at that point I didn't know how many other guys knew of him and how many people were going to be hunting him. But I just couldn't wait to get that shed in my hand, take a look at it, and just be that much closer to knowing what fair game is like. Lo and behold, first match set of the year is a good deer. As the summer of 2020 came around, I've been out doing some more velvet scouting, driving around, and the guy that filmed me kill my 2019 buck had asked if I wanted to go glass some fields, and I said sure. Well, I pull up to his house, and no kidding, he walks outside, hands me fair game's antler, and says, here, so put that in the passenger seat. And I'm just awestruck at that moment. This is actually the first time I got to see the antler, and he just willingly gave it to me. And it may sound stupid to some people, but I was literally willing to pay for this antler. I was so obsessed with this deer. And but just knowing I now was in possession of it, I'm not going to say the obsession grew that much, but man, I was on cloud nine. As youth season was approaching, what better thing to do than prepare, and go do some scouting? Well, Curtis, Carrie, and Natalie went out one night as I was on the other side of the county looking at another farm, and Kurt called me or texted me and said, "Hey, I think it's fair game in the field." And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to say I was speeding, but I was going pretty fast over to the farm to see if I could verify it.
Ooh, there's a good one. Look at him. Ooh, that one's nice.
The one closer to the...
Yeah, I think the one in the back is definitely the biggest one.
I think the one...
I filmed him coming across the field the first time. I don't know if it was him or not, but it was a good deer.
I don't know what deer that was, but there's a big deer.
Yeah. And then 3 of them come walking back out. 3 of them come across from the south. Then there was a bunch of other deer, and they were back behind that terrace to the north. Then these other 3 came back out toward this other deer.
Sure enough, that evening, Kurt was filming fair game. He came out and just hung out in the field, fed with some other deer, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, he's still big as ever. The one thing I was kind of concerned about, but it really didn't bug me because that's the reason his name is Fair Game, is we were going to be hunting in just a couple of days with Natalie for youth season. So there was a great chance her and I were going to be sitting there in the blind with Kurt, and Fair Game could easily step out and she'd get the crack at him. But like I said in the beginning, how he got his name was Fair Game. I just wanted one of my friends or someone I knew to kill him, or myself. So I wasn't going to be too upset if she killed him, but I mean, I gotta say, Natalie definitely but we both ended up with the better end of the deal. As luck would have it, during youth season, we're set up, and I'm just subconsciously waiting for Fair Game to step out. But out of nowhere, another giant stepped out next to us, and Natalie made a great shot, and honestly, it kind of was peace of mind for me, knowing she shot an absolute giant, but Fair Game's still there in the woods, and I still have a fair chance of getting a crack at him. As season progressed, I kind of sort of lost my drive to hunt because it was the day before Thanksgiving, and got the worst call of my life that my mom passed away. So I just didn't want to spend any time hunting when I could just spend time with family. That's ultimately what I decided to do for most of the rest of the season. Soon before season started, I'd actually met my now fiance, Lakota. That being said, she was able to meet my mom a few times and be my support, my rock through all the hard stuff. And she helped me keep motivated to get out hunting, and I got to film her more than anything. And it was a good time being able to spend the time with her. But she kept giving me support throughout the year and throughout the fall, I should say. And come late season, she's told me, Ian, let's go get you a deer. As late muzzleloader season approached, I was still really hoping that Fair Game would show up like he had the previous 2 years. Late season was always the time when he was regular. And we have one camera on the bottom, Jake does, and he immediately sent me a photo at like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was in town at the hardware store when he texted me this. And coincidentally, I had all my orange, my camera gear, my muzzleloader all in the truck with me. And I hauled over to the farm and knew I had to get into the woods if there was any hope of getting this deer on the ground. However, I was self-filming. There was no one to help film me. But man, I was fixing to have one heck of a sit. There's not a whole lot of footage here, but to sum it up, I got there, I snuck down into the woods and got behind a big oak tree. There was already a deer down this bottom, and I somehow snuck in undetected. It was nice and windy, and sure enough, I was there just 5-10 minutes, and there was fair game. Broad daylight, pushing some does, and it was a frantic mess. I just kept panning the camera, trying to get ahead of them, where I could get the muzzleloader up and still shoot, but I just couldn't do it. There was too much brush and stuff to be able to do that, and trying to pick the small holes through all the branches and stuff, and getting all of it to line up is just next to impossible. But, you know, what ended up happening is I had the camera set, got the gun up, and he ended up running through the gap after a doe, and that was it. At that point, I thought I just missed my first and only chance at fair game that I've had, and now would be the 4th year history with him. And I just ultimately thought, it's over. This deer, I'm never going to get him. It's almost impossible. He's a ghost.
Holy cow. That was the first time ever I've had a chance at buck a call fair game. 4 years. This is the 4th year after him. The video camera saved his life. What a giant. Gosh. I'm kicking myself for not forgetting the camera and just shooting right now. I've talked myself through that situation a million times in my head over the last 4 years. And always thought I'd just shoot and forget the camera if it came down to it, but my heart was racing like that was the first deer I've ever had a crack at, because holy crap. So I think I'm probably gonna pack up and sneak back out of here, I think. Come up with plan B. I made the right instinctive choice today where I thought he'd be going, so this time, so we got a couple hours of light left, so I'm probably gonna sneak around and get it set up for the evening, I guess. Find out. See you soon.
Season was almost over. It's January 8th, and it's just your average night. I go to bed and wake up the morning of the 9th, and at 9:30 a.m., Jake sends me a text that fair game was on that 10 acres where I'd first ever gotten photos of them, and Jake had actually had a camera there for a buck named Squirrely Dan, who he is after.
Early in the morning, I got a couple of pictures of fair game that I immediately sent to Ian, and I went to bed.
So Lakota told me, even though she hadn't killed one yet, let's go after her. Let's give it another shot. The last ditch effort. Hunt Stand was saying that it was a little bit of a northwest wind, but I didn't know where he was bedded, so that was the problem. But when I pulled in, we parked, I look over, and right there's fair game.
I woke up, Ian said they saw fair game, and it was time to go after it. And I remember telling him, I said, Ian, if you don't shoot fair game today, I'm probably gonna hit you. So I got dressed up, they came and picked me up just as quick as they could, and we moved out to the farm to do our thing and put a stock on it.
After Lakota and I got Jake picked up, we headed back over to the farm. Lakota dropped Jake and I off. She drove the truck back around to where we could see fair game bedded. As we were sneaking in, it literally took us 45 minutes to get the 150 yards because that snow had actually melted the day before and then froze again that day on the 9th. So it's super, super crunchy. So we were just taking this one step at a time and just trying to make the crunch as soft as possible because where we were going to be set up was within probably 100 or so yards of where fair game was bedded. But the problem was, we just had to get there. It's all we knew was get there, and then it was just a waiting game. As Jake and I got set up, we're sitting there. There's about a half hour of light left. I told Lakota before she left, if it got to 30 minutes before dark, go ahead and walk at them and see if you can push them our way.
I'm a nervous wreck right now. I don't even see him right now. There's a lane here that they bulldozed this summer, checking fences. That gave me a clearing that never used to be there. Either he's gonna go south, go right here in front of us, or he's gonna go east and pop up behind us. So we gotta be on top of our game tonight.
As Jake and I are sitting there, I hear rustling, and immediately I catch movement. I told Jake, get the camera on, here he comes.
Fair game, get ready, get ready.
In 7 seconds, he popped out into my shooting lane at 50 yards, paralleled exactly to a T where I was hoping he'd show up. And I put on probably the best shot I've ever put on a whitetail.
Dead. Got him. Dead. I got it. I got it. Oh my God, buddy. We got him. Oh my God. Are you kidding? We got him. We just dropped him. 4 years. Oh my God, this is the biggest deer alive. Right there. Oh, my knee hurts. Right there we go. 2 days. This year has been the hardest year of my life. It's 2021 now. But I haven't mentioned this. I just killed deer 3 years ago. And I didn't mention this, but my mom's watching now. Mom passed away the day before Thanksgiving. She wasn't able to be here to witness this. I'm glad she's watching down. That's the only reason this happened. Gosh. Thank you, Mom. I love you. Gosh, dude. She just like this, buddy.
Just to think of all the opportunities and history I've had with this deer, it just blew my mind. And I know for a fact there's only one reason I got him when I did. That's because my mom was looking down on me. I mean, she listened to me so many days, listened to me, hey, I'm going to put cameras out, gonna try to get pictures of fair game again, and she supported me through it all. And there's no doubt that that's the reason this all came together. And you know, spinning it with Lakota and Jake just made it all the sweeter, because Jake lost his mom a few years ago too, so he could relate to it with me. And Lakota was there when I got the call about mom passing away too. And just all of it together pretty much made for one of the happiest days of my life, to be honest with you. And there's only one thing missing, and that was the phone call to Dad to come help with the track job.
Oh, there's blood right there. Oh, dude, we got blood already, buddy. Spraying all over. Dude, it's just insane. I see him. He's right here. There he lies. Come on, cut him. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude. Fair game. Finally, it's come to an end. Dude, finally. Fair game. Oh my goodness. Dude. Holy smokes. Dad, I'm glad you're here for this one too. I've never... All in all, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever shoot a deer that means so much to me, more than fair game. I mean, I'll probably shoot bigger deer hopefully in the future, Lord willing, but
I don't think there'll ever be another deer that will be the front and center of my house more than fair game. And it's just been a privilege to hunt a deer like that and make the story all come together. And like I said before, there's only one reason I got them, and there's no doubt in my mind that I'm dedicating this hunt to Mom. Love you, Mom.
What matters to you right now? If this past year has taught us anything at all, it's that we need to redefine what matters to us. What matters to us is spending time with our people.
God, we thank you for this food.
And giving thanks for all that we've been given. At Mossy Oak, what matters to us is helping you get closer to nature. What matters to us is in our DNA.
All right, coming up, my favorite part of everything here, ingredient wild, which means we're fixing to cook something. Italian meatloaf with the barbecue ninja. Hey, I'm a meatloaf guy. I cannot wait to check this out.
Hey, Craig Brahaga, the Barbecue Ninja. Coming at you from the hunting camp at Mossy Oak. The recipe that I'm gonna do today is very near and dear to my heart. It's my mom's rendition of an Italian meatloaf, but we're doing it with wild game. We actually have 4 different types of wild game here. We've got bison, we've got elk, we've got venison, and we've got wild boar that's gonna go into this meatloaf. We're gonna first saute these vegetables. We got chopped portobello mushrooms, and we've got a chopped up sweet Vidalia onion. We got about a half of a stick of butter. We're actually using just a little bit more butter than I usually would because the wild game meats, they're very lean, and so we want to add a little more fat into them. And this is black olives and garlic. We'll get these sauteed up. We'll get the onion a little bit clear and portobello mushrooms to release a little bit of its juices. We're gonna add that to the game meat. All right, next we're gonna add Italian breadcrumbs and zesty Italian dry salad dressing. After the dry part, we're going in with the beaten eggs. We got 2 eggs here that we've got scrambled up really good. And after that, you just gotta get in there. You just gotta dive in. You gotta mix it up. You gotta get it all in there together. We'll make a loaf in the pan. And then we're gonna go to the smoker and we're gonna smoke this until we have about a 165 internal temperature to the meatloaf. And it's probably gonna take close to an hour. Now that we got the loaf made in the pan, we're gonna top this thing with the roasted garlic cream and mushroom soup. And we're gonna get it covered up really, really nice. I mean, really thick. Even the excess that you have, you want it to go all off the sides. You want it to get in the bottom. Because what we're gonna do with this, we're gonna serve it over some ash mashed potatoes. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. What better combination? We're going to go to the smoker next. Probably gonna take this thing about an hour to an hour and a half at 300. We're gonna run it up probably 325, 350. The ash potatoes are awesome. They're very easy. I use the smaller potatoes because we're gonna cook them fast, and we go directly on the royal oak lump charcoal. The lump charcoal is all natural, so you don't have to worry about, got a little bit of residue on there. That's flavor. You want to go till they're fork tender, but won't take long. I say 15 to 30 minutes. man, it's probably going on an hour and a half, 2 hours. We've had it around 300, so it's been cooking pretty slow. Oh, look how pretty. That cream of mushroom soup has made a great gravy in there that's gonna go wonderful with the mashed potatoes. We're at the end of the wild game Italian meatloaf. It's turned out great. I tell you, you can see a good smoke ring where it cooked on that drum smoker, and I'm sitting here smelling this right now, and I cannot wait to try it. That's what I'm talking about right there. That smoke on the outside with that garlic, black olives, onion. Mama would be proud.
Another cup, another tank of gas. One more road sign I just passed. Looks like I'll be just in time to see that sunrise in the blind.
Technology and deer hunting. You know, here's the deal. Technology's here to stay. And I'll do some old school pictures and stuff like that, but I don't live in the past. And I've been able to see my kids and my grandkids grow up with technology, and surely some of that's going to spill over into hunting. The most craziest thing that's happened in the hunting world, in my opinion, in the last 50 years is trail cameras. I can't imagine what it would have been like back in the day if we had trail cameras. The first trail camera I saw, 35 millimeter in a box this big. You had to take the film and get it developed. But I jumped all over that. I said, that's the coolest thing ever, because not everybody can scout 4 days a week or cover 5 miles. You may not have that dirt, but it gets to a point where it's like, in my thoughts, this is just me thinking out loud. If I got cameras all over my hunting stuff and I ain't seen any big deer, that in my mind can affect, well, am I gonna go or not? So I use them very sparingly now. I want my kids, my grandkids to have a good hunt, so I'm knowing where those deer are moving. But I did a podcast 3 weeks ago with Dan Moultrie, trail cameras, all that kind of stuff. And he said he does all of his bow hunting now with no trail cameras. He said, I'm going old school. I want to be surprised when they walked out. I think the perfect place is somewhere in the middle, usually is. I don't mind putting out trail cameras, love fooling with that stuff, but I don't depend on technology. You watch videos on YouTube and everybody's using OnX and all. I use OnX myself. If technology is going to help me, I'm going to use it, because you have to know something about technology to even have a conversation with somebody that's 20 or 30, even 40 years old. Do you need it all the time? No. Is old school always better? No. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Whatever feels right to you, technology-wise, is where you need to be. I personally don't use trail cameras in the spring, especially the cell type. If there's a turkey strutting back there on my little 20-acre field back at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't want to get a picture showing me that. That's just me. I don't think the cell cameras are what you need for turkey hunting. At some point, we'll all have to address that. It's my opinion, it may end up like hunting in Alaska. When you fly to Alaska and land, you can't hunt till the next day. Kind of, maybe it should be like that with cell cameras. You get a picture of a giant deer or turkey strutting, maybe you shouldn't hunt it till the next day. I don't know. Technology, a very private thing, somewhere in the middle, I think is the right spot.
This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by the new specially designed, lightweight, and durable Tenzing Hang Time Day Pack. Go further, hunt longer, Tenzing.
I did something so stupid that's never happened to me before. Taking my bow off the hanger as he's starting to move this way. I bumped my release and it fell and hit the platform. And he paused. And I guess he saw me moving the camera arm to get a better angle. And he just turned and lifted his tail halfway and walked off. What a stupid thing to do. I didn't see him looking at me.
That's brutal. It is so hard for me to watch that footage still. Seeing my target buck walk off into the timber like that. Well, there's still time for something to happen in this season, so hopefully stay tuned for an upcoming episode. But in this episode of Loophole Dream Season Live, I'm taking a reprieve from private land hunting to hunting public land. That's right, from private to public. Doesn't happen very often, but I got permission from the suburban wildlife biologist and I got permission from the St. Louis County Parks superintendent to film my hunts, and so that's what we're doing. We're going on a public land hunt here in Loophole's Dream Season Live. We are going public land in a saddle, if you can believe it. This is a little different kind of scenario though. It's a managed hunt on St. Louis County park ground. Got the green light to film and it's game on. And yesterday I was out doing a little walking around and I found a great set of rubs and scrapes back in a cedar transition area where it moves into kind of an oak hillside.
When I say it's thick back in here, I mean it is thick. So I'm right on the edge of the oaks over here, and then the cedars up here. There are scrapes right there, right there, and then another one up there. And you can see he's got this tree rubbed on. So he's definitely traveling through here. There's a little bench cut. And then this is the tree I'm gonna get up into with the saddle.
Your cast was showing it was gonna be a good night, and I was up in the tree around 3:30, and the action started right off the bat.
It's 3:30 and I'm finally set up in the saddle. I got the bow hanging, got my backpack here, got the platform set up. This spot is kind of a gamble because right now the wind is coming from the south-southwest. I need a north or a west or a northwest for this spot. And I'm hoping that as evening approaches, thermals will take over and start pulling air down the hill here. Because I think the buck's going to come from up there or up there down to me. That's the hope. This is very low probability. Public land, saddle hunting, way back in the thickest cover. But sometimes, that great risk can yield a great reward. Now, it's just a matter of waiting for Mr. Big to show up. The other thing I should mention is that because this is public land, they don't allow trail cameras to be used. So I'm going old school with this hunt in the sense of I'm hunting off of deer's sign. I have zero pictures of any deer back here. So we'll see if my old school woodsmanship skills can pay off. I wasn't ready for that. I don't think she was ready either.
see that, but he's probably 2.5. Let's wait for his great grandpa.
We're doing a line of deer calls with HS. This is the Drury Outdoors Signature Series. This is the buck bark. I love this call because of the sound and the tones that it'll give you. The material is rubberized and it's flexible, so regardless of the tone you're desiring, you'll be able to get it. That's a standard tending grunt. It'll also do a popping sound of a buck that's actually standing there looking at an estrus doe. It's one of the only times they'll do this sound. It's also great for a growl or a bark. Then last but not least, the combination between a grunt and a snort wheeze. So, incredible realism, incredible versatility from the buck bark, a brand new call in the Drury Outdoors Series in combination with HS.
Here's to never missing a day of hunting camp. Because with DeerCast, you can take camp with you all season long. Get ahead of your game.
That was a good hit. I didn't have time to turn all my cameras on. Unreal. That just happened. Oh my goodness. You talk about
close. You just can't get closer than that. I'm freezing. I'm freezing and I got a ton of adrenaline. Wow. She's been so supportive. The season can be so long, so tough. Hi, how are you?
I'm laying down for a little while. Did you get a buck?
You know I did.
Yay! Congrats, kudos.
Thank you, yeah. So he just went up the hill a little bit and I heard him cough and fall down. So I'm gonna get some of the guys together and do the recovery. I love you. Thank you for making time for me to get out. I appreciate it.
Thank you for feeding your family.
All right, we're gonna have buck burgers.
All right, buck it on.
She's all right. All right, now to unpack all this stuff out of the tree.
Josiah's here running camera. Jake came out to help do the recovery also. The cool thing about DeerCast Track is I can see what organ I hit, and so right here it's showing me definitely in the lung area, and I did hear him cough when he was back up in the cedars, like something was wrong with his respiratory system. So that's a great confirmation. And then I can come down here and I can see like these videos are sorted by their proximity to my hit. So this particular video is going to be the most relevant for my hit. We've given him probably about an hour and a half or so far. We're going to sneak back up there, take a look at the arrow, and then take a peek back in the cedars and see if we can find him. I'm so excited. Let's do it. Scene of the crime. That looks like good blood. Yep. That Rage Tri-Pan fully deployed. Blood all the way up and down that shaft and onto the fletchings. Looks good. We can see plenty of great blood, but we saw what no deer hunter wants to see, and that's a set of eyes shining back at him in the woods. It's been about 2 hours since the shot. Actually, we can't confirm that it's him. We just see two eyes staring back at us from the darkness. So we're going to make a strategic retreat, exercise some caution, and beat a retreat back to the truck and wait for a little bit longer. Okay, so we checked DeerCast Track earlier on that hit, and DeerCast Track is saying wait 3 hours. The kill in DeerCast Track said it took about 2 hours for that deer to die. We're seeing eyeballs up there in the woods, and we don't want to push that deer. The hit looked great, but we don't want to make a mistake here. So we've been chilling out. We've been reviewing the hit on the computer, and just want to make sure that we do everything right. I'm in a rush to get up there, but I'm using DeerCast Track to ensure that I don't screw something up on my buck. We waited another few hours, in fact, until 9:45. We went back to check on him and he still had his head up. So I made the call to let's just back out for the night. There might be coyotes in the area. We might lose him. He might get up, but I don't want to make a bad decision here. Spatter right here and on the tree. And there's lots of blood. These aren't just little pinpricks, these are big splatters. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yes. That's right where he was last night. That was him. I was so relieved. I had such a hard time getting to sleep last night despite how tired I was. And then I woke up again at 3 o'clock just thinking about this guy out here. Coyotes didn't get to him, so that's awesome. It's nice not having any regrets. Like, we didn't push it last night as much as I wanted to. DeerCast Track said to wait 3 hours, we waited 4, and it seemed like he still needed a little more time. So it's just nice to have that second opinion, because if it were up to me, like with that hit, I would have thought like a half hour tops, but it just was not the case. I just had a little more caution as a result of the track to come recover this deer. Now, I gotta get my hands on him here. Oh man. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. He's a 10. A perfect Missouri 10, public land, in a saddle. Oh my goodness. Just because you're hunting public land doesn't mean there aren't some good deer out there. Boy, it's got to be willing to work for it. Yes. There we go. He's mine. That's public land hunting.
Mossy Oak works, what can we say?
Wow, a Missouri public land stud. Unbelievable. This guy came in looking for a fight, and he sure got it. Just wasn't the guy he was looking for. You know, part of the reason that this hunt all happened was St. Louis County Parks opened up their grounds for managed hunts. Got back into some really thick cover here. These cedars are so thick. Using the saddle to get back into really thick cover, that was huge. Scent control, the scent management, I crushed all my gear. I'd washed it. I used nose jammer on my boots as I came in. They didn't pick up on me, which is huge. This guy came in, he was probably at 8 or 10 steps. Very, very close. Didn't hurt that he was also focused in on the other younger buck looking to brawl, but boy, everything just happened so quickly. And just like that, my Missouri public land managed hunt deer tag is punched. What an incredible night. DeerCast said great, and it really was great.
At the core of all of us, there is a code, a roadmap that determines who we are. Our code is written in early morning sunrises and the anticipation of opening day. Our code is written by the moments that we experience with those we love the most. It's written by the feeling of our dirt in our hands. At Mossy Oak, our code is burned into every cell of our body. It's in our DNA.
I'm but a boy, though I own a heart as old as coal. Searching for something in the forest where I stroll. I'm out here 'cause I got nowhere to go. The open air and the trees known to soothe the poorest soul.
Well, on this episode of Dead End Game Calls TV, we're headed to the state of Iowa with road crew member Patrick Paysinger as he's drew the coveted Iowa whitetail tag.
Well, I'm on my third trip to Iowa this year.
First trip was for the ODF, such a wonderful trip. Second trip, Matt and I, we went up there and hunted for a week. Had Mitchell and Jeremy in camp hunting Missouri. Had lots of fun, but we didn't have a lot of action. I did pass some small deer up. I had one shooter buck at 70 yards, and the doe took him the other way. So I did have some action. There had some good ones on camera. But I'm making the third trip up. This will be the last trip for my Iowa tag. I've only got about 3 days to get it done. I'm gonna be hunting basically Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm going back home for Thanksgiving. So the weather looks good. The last trip, we fought some horrible weather. We had 70-degree weather for 3 days, then it flooded for 1 day, and then extreme winds for 3 days. So, plus I think we were dealing with lockdown. So, hopefully we'll have some bucks that's coming off lockdown. They're out cruising. We did get one good picture of a shooter, probably 160-inch buck, day before yesterday at almost 4 o'clock. So he was just out cruising, looked like. So I'm gonna hammer down, and we will see you guys in the tree. Well, I'm in my stand for my first set. It's not temperature-wise that cold. It's about 37, but the wind is sustained about 24 miles per hour. So 24 mile per hour wind plus 37 degrees. It feels cold, and it wasn't calling for this kind of wind. It's showing the rest of the weekend only about 10 mile per hour, which is good. I'm set up. I hunted this place about a week ago one evening. I had about 10 or 15 does pile out into this field. Had one half-rack buck come up to the decoy. So I've got a super thick bed back here behind me. You can see all that. They've got to be bigger bucks in here. They got to be some big mature bucks. So hopefully those does just wasn't ready. And with about a week to set, nothing's been in here. Hopefully those does start pouring out again. And hopefully they got a big buck in tow. And either they bring him by me, or he sees this decoy out. But I'll sit back and enjoy it. I've got about 2.5 more hours of daylight left, and I'm in Iowa hunting. looked at the video, I don't know. On one hand, I'm like, I think it was shoulder. I think he was fine. But then on another hand, I'm like, he was super close. And those victory arrows, those VAP arrows, man, they are tough and they're heavy. And I've never had a problem with the Swacker. I kind of think that maybe with him being so close and as hard as hitting, that it could have hit and went in and hit the opposite shoulder and just come out immediately. I can't tell. We put it in slow motion and not sure. Either I didn't get any penetration and he's fine, or it busted through, hit the opposite shoulder and pulled back. But I'm gonna go to right where I last seen him and look for blood, look for the arrow, look for him. So let's go see if we can find him.
All right, I'm right here at the last place seen him. If you look right up there on that hill, that's where I was in that cedar tree. So I'm right over here. It's super thick, and just right here is last place I seen him. I'm gonna go over here, see if I can't spot some blood or him.
You won't believe this. Right there he is. He did not go anywhere. Literally as soon as he went over the hill. Let's see. Yes, right there. Right there he is. Oh man. Initially I was kind of sick. I thought I didn't get any penetration, but obviously I got something good. It had to bust through. Let's get down there and see him. Right there he is. What a sight. Beautiful buck. Beautiful. I knew he was just a big old 9-point. Man, I've never shot one over a decoy. And I said, man, if I can get a good mature buck come in on that decoy, I'm going to take him. And sure enough, man, the deer just poured out on the field last night. And I had to look over, and there he was 60 yards to my right, had a couple little spikes, and he come bristled up slobbering. It was super cool. And yes, see my shot. Wow. It was a little high, but man, we shoot those Victory VAP SS. They're really, really, they're heavy. They got that FOC's really high. And with the Swackers, it busted plumb through and hit the opposite shoulder. And there's my 21 Iowa buck. And we have absolutely put in a lot of time. And last week it was horrible. The weather was horrible. The deer wasn't moving. And come up here in the first evening on my last trip up, only had 2.5 days to hunt, and then I was done, and I got it done.
Well, the one thing that you seen that took place in this hunt was a deer that fell for a decoy. You know, Patrick put his decoy out, and this deer come into the decoy, offered a perfect shot for Patrick, and it closed the deal on this hunt. You know, let's consider that decoy as sort of like a fake. You know, in our Christian walk of life, it's very easy for us to fall for a fake. The devil so many times makes sin to be a beautiful picture. It's a beautiful painting. If sin wasn't an amazing and attractive thing, then we as Christians and believers wouldn't fall for it. But my encouragement to you would be to this: not to fall for a fake. The devil will disguise sin in so many different ways. For this buck, that sin ultimately led to his demise. That fake led to his demise. Patrick probably wouldn't have killed this deer without it. Same way for you. If you're here and you're watching this video, you've never accepted Christ as your personal Savior, the devil's trying to give you a fake. He's going to give you every reason that he possibly can for you not to come to Christ and accept him as your personal Savior. But I want you to know today that God's grace and love is so overwhelming that the only way that you can get to heaven is by accepting Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, asking Him to forgive you of your sins and accept Him into your heart. Today is the day of salvation, the Bible says. Today, why don't you make this your day for salvation? Don't fall for a fake.
We found this spot, shed hunting. I've not been back in here. Access in here is pretty brutal because it's kind of at the center of the farm. Really need to come off my neighbor, but that's not going to happen. So I had my spot marked on my map right here. We come right to it. And you can really see from here. I mean, you can see that ridge. You can see this bottom. It's going to be one of those spots you're probably going to have to hang, adjust accordingly, but you know they're going to run this ridge. It pinches down right here on that fence to another ridge, so they're going to go back there too, but it's so thick. I'd rather be up here. You can see them and call and rattle at them. Pick one of these white oaks and hop in, and there's a ton of sign on the ground. A ton of acres. But to pick the right tree the first time, I don't. This spot is awesome. You have to walk to hunt in here. You're going to have to walk forever. We brought the four in here, crossed over a couple ditches, but you won't obviously be able to do that when we're hunting. But you got a cornfield to the east, cornfield to the north, cornfield to the west, cornfield to the south. So no matter what way you're coming, you're gonna lose from one side, you're gonna bump it. But up on this ridge, there's already a ton of sign here. Now, the leaves are still in the trees, but you can see forever. You got this thick, heavily timbered piece. These bucks are gonna be working this downwind side. You got this road running up the middle. There's an old fence gap right here going this cornfield. This spot's gonna be dynamite. Looks like a deer over there. Acorns everywhere. Beautiful white oak ridge. Beautiful spot.
Back in Iowa, we got a Braves W, championship parade, World Series champions, the whole shebang. Delayed my rut hunt. So it's November 6th. 5th is the day I really like to get cranked up, so I'm only a day behind. I'm a little behind on what these deer are doing going to a new farm. So today will be not a scout mission because we got some cams out. We kind of know who's what, who's on first, whatever you want to call it. But hopefully they'll move this morning. It's getting a little warmer. I've timed my time to start back hunting. Not ideal. It's getting a little warmer, but things have just started kicking off around here. My dad's been hunting hard since Illinois over the last week or so, and yesterday it really picked up for him, so might be right on time. If not, I'll get it. I got my brought my wallet. I'm gonna have to go down first though, dude. Are you all right? Sit down right here. Refresh off a Doug in the World Series. Had to bring my good luck jar. We come in here to this spot. It's a beautiful spot. We hung this stand about a month ago or whatever, and we've been thinking about it ever since. The access to get in here is tough. It's just, there's not really a good road to get in here. There's a huge creek surrounding this big bluff. So we were not really dreading it, but we were like, okay, we're gonna be sweating when we finally decide to make that walk. Well, this morning was it. We felt like it turned on yesterday, according to David. And we got in here, got a turkey gobbling right down the ridge, had a coyote come up while we were trying to climb up, so we felt like we got in here pretty dang quiet. We just mapped it out. We seen 3 bucks over here in this cut cornfield that about 700 yards away. 2 of them are pretty good deer. I couldn't see a doe. I think the other third deer was a spike or something, or a little buck. But all the corn is cut around this field. 10 days ago, that was not the situation. Or it was cut around this hill. We're just at a big ridge. We got cutovers on both sides of us. We got cornfields on literally all four sides of us. It's just a perfect picture, you know, on paper. You can't get a better looking spot for November the 6th, but we'll see if the deer move. First hour or two has been pretty slow from all the reports I've been hearing, but picks up once the sun starts heating the ground up. I think it's that giant we got on trail cam that one night. Oh my gosh.
He's got a bunch of junk on his bases.
Does he? Okay, here he comes. Oh, he's coming this way. That's that giant that crossed the road on them, dude. That's who that is. He's looking this way. He's kind of going away now. Tell me, can you see him good? Can you see him? I don't see it no more. Do what? Alright, be real still. Just one more deer to the mix over here that we're hunting. We moved this stand yesterday. We seen this big deer we call Jasmine. We seen him come up off this ridge right here, working scrapes, making rubs, and he was about 7,500 yards away from us the whole time. I grunted when he got up on our level, and he just didn't pay us no attention. This morning's more south-southwest. It's, I'd honestly rather it be a little more west, but it's a rut. We got nose jammer out the gills. And good spot. Nick hung this spot. I went back to check some cameras and take another stand down. He moved it up probably, what do you think, Nick? It was about 80 yards. I don't even see the other tree, so we can't see that cornfield where we could see those deer running across yesterday, but I can see another cornfield and another cornfield to my west, so should be a pretty morning. It's warm. It's 41 degrees, but we got a long hike back in here, so you sweat. But you'd sweat if it was 31 degrees. Happy Veterans Day, November the 11th. We finally got some cool weather for the first time in a couple of weeks, it feels like. At least that I've got to hunt. But we've set this ridge 4 times. This is the 3rd time in this stand. Oh, here she comes back. Here they come back. There's a bug. Oh, it's chopsticks. That's why we haven't been seeing these does. They can't even walk 10 yards without getting harassed. Look at there. Well, we just seen the first 2 does that we couldn't kill with a bow, but now they're coming to us, so that theory's about to change. But we're in here hunting Jasmine. There we go. Could have whacked her right there. So that theory out the window. You're exactly right. Of course, our darn wind. Try to let it go over here naturally, if not, it'll grind you. Going away now, ain't it? What? Yes. Well, I've had to grab my bow twice. Both times he's come closer with a little buck. These little bucks are trying to crowd his space so he won't run them off. Here he comes back. Locked down the doe in this ditch. I lost the doe. There's something down there with him. Is that his doe with him? Oh, yeah. It might be his son. We've been watching him probably an hour. He's just staying about 20 yards downwind of him, fending off bucks as they come in. It's quite nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. At least he's got one eye. Every time he looks up here, I get nervous. Alright, well, we've seen him for about 3 hours. Been watching him for 3 hours. The doe bedded down, probably an hour
close now. They might be about to consummate their marriage. Our thought is that creek they're on right there is super steep, and the only place we've seen deer cross is right below, about 50 to 75 yards, or they got to go up this way about 100 yards west. So if they go that way, they got to probably walk around this brush pile and give us about a 40-yard shot. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have been on pins and needles and borderline shaking for about 3 hours, so something's got to give. One of us has got to have some relief. He's just trying to slowly ease into it. He's wanting to recreate T-Bone's Instagram post. Here comes the doe. There she comes right here. How are you on battery? Comes that little buck. Mac, young. Bait him low.
No, he's going.
What should we get? I was hoping ain't that no man's land. Too thick. I want him to bed down right there. He was gonna bed right here if I wouldn't have scared him.
I know. He's a little wobbly right there.
Yeah. He hasn't, when you just barely clip their lungs, they have to exert energy to fall over. He didn't know what happened, you know?
No. I can't believe you got him to stop.
I know, it's crazy. He went like, Mac. That was nuts, man. That was probably one of the best hunts of my life, just considering the whole thing.
That was insane.
Oh, we got him. He's a big one.
How big?
Probably pushing 180.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's cool deer. Big old deep fork. He's cool deer.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thanks. He's laying right there.
Get that. I can get that burrito again tonight.
Yeah. No, we eating cheesecake tonight, baby. Cheesecake.
No, I was celebrating. Or are you picking me up anyway?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna call my dad. Love you.
All right. When I get done with this, I'll come get the kids and come FaceTime.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right.
Bye.
He's coon hunting or something.
Hello?
We got him.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Get him?
We got him.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Celebratory. This is going to be our lunch. We're just going to split it for lunch, but we ain't got to because we just killed him. There you go. Thank you. It's enough to make you nervous right there. All that white hair. There's the old victory. BAP SF. That raptor trick. Buried in the mud. I think my shot was back along longer lungs and liver, so that's what that arrow looks like. Go get him, baby. Big old boy. Come on. We did it, man. That thing's a hog. Look at those beans. Like a mule deer. Oh wow. Look at that. Oh man, he's so wore down. He's so skinny. Pecker's hanging out. Got issues. Oh, that one. We did break that one off a little. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Tick on his eye. There. Oh. That could have happened this year. Wow. It's the one we were after, baby. Jasmine. He's a hoss. We did it. We did it. Don't feel real, I ain't gonna lie. We hunted, we probably hunted a week total in October, and then this is our 6th day in November, and you know, had one tag. I wanted to make the best of it, and pretty pumped to wrap around this guy. A deer we call Jasmine. This is a different farm. Me and my dad bought this farm 3 or 4 years ago, and I honestly have probably only hunted it twice. It was more of a, you know, investment. It's got a lot of tillable. It was a good farm, beautiful farm. It's got a lot going on, but in shed season, found this spot, and I was like, I want to stand right here. It's one of the prettiest ridges, white oak ridges I've ever seen in my life. And me and Nick hung a stand in here early October, and we said, well, we'll be back when the time gets right. And so November 6th, we came in here and we seen this guy. We had him about 80 yards. He was just straight up cruising, making rubs, making scrapes. And then I put a camera on that hill 2 days later. I got him up there at 2 in the day. But after that first morning, Nick moved the stand. I said, I'm gonna go move some cameras. He said, I'll move the stand. We picked out a tree. There it is, 80 yards away. And it's just been a whirlwind. We hunted that stand, what, this the 3rd time? We hunted it twice, seen 2 bucks. The next time, seen 2 bucks. Every time we see a deer out of that stand, he was within bow range. And we said, we're on a buck trail. We weren't seeing any does, but we knew we were on a buck trail, and we knew if we just gutted it out there, it's a long walk in here. It's not that far. The way we weave around, it's probably half mile, but it's through a bunch of multiflora rows. It's up and down to a couple of big ridges. It's about as far as you'd want to have to walk before dark. And this morning we seen him at 7:30. He come up to run a little 8-pointer off and ended up running off bucks all morning. We later realized he was locked down with a doe, and he had a kind of a challenge on his hands because he had this bad eye, so he couldn't let anything come up on that side. And so they finally bedded down, and a coyote, we think it was a coyote, got him up, and it was a coyote I almost killed 2 mornings ago. Thank God I didn't. And he breeds her. He mounts her and breeds her 7 different times, and then they head down the ridge. They get up here, and that was twice this morning, twice that we could have killed him from the tree we moved from. That's Murphy's Law. But then there were some other bucks that were just downwind waiting on her for something like this to happen, I guess. And so they moved in on him. She took off running. He chased those bucks. The bucks were right under our stand. And thank God, I meant really loud and stopped him 17 yards. And we put a good shot on him. And he ran, what do you think, total? 60?
60,
maybe.
70, yeah.
He did a little loop. It was over quick, so it's surreal. It's a good feeling. I mean, he's got 13 points. And we had one picture of him a month ago out in this winter bulbs and sugar beets field, probably 300 yards that way. And then when we seen him that first morning, we were like, this is a deer we want to kill. Just unmistakable, big, deep fork. He's a little heavier than we thought he was as he carries his mass to his tines. He looks a lot like Big Chocolate. Same color rack, probably 18 wide. Just a beautiful deer.
What matters to you right now? If this past year has taught us anything at all, it's that we need to redefine what matters to us. What matters to us is spending time with our people.
God, we thank you for this food.
And giving thanks for all that we've been given. At Mossy Oak, what matters to us is helping you get closer to nature. What matters to us is in our DNA.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I do. I love looking at all the content. We got some great people sending this stuff in. Fires me up. The Mossy Oak Go app, as you know, is free. You probably have it since you're watching. If you don't, download it and tell your buddies about it. We'll be right back here 7 days. Good hunting.